the question is that how to be in a state where you can let go of a person living or otherwise, and so you're not constantly seeking completeness or fulfillment in others. It's very tricky, It's not as easy as anyone may make it sound, that, if you're fulfilled within, you will never need to meet anybody else and so on. It's not that simple. Because human beings are very complex creatures. And I suppose you all fall in that category. Human beings. From human beings, we almost become human doings. Constantly having to do something so that mind just stays busy. Two greatest challenges that people face when they, for example, come to the ashram or want to do something spiritual, they say, what will I do? I cannot tell you what you can do. You have to see how to structure your time. And then they tell me, give me something to do, please. How can I give you something to do? I don't know what you can do. And people almost always think that if they can keep their mind busy, they'll be okay. That at least they won't have to listen to the chatter of their mind. There is some truth in it. So you seek fulfillment and completion or completeness in others when you feel somewhere unfulfilled within. At the same time, though, you feel that when you, in your mind, imagine a dream with the other person, and that to make that dream a reality, you start pursuing that person or something similar. But life does not work that way. Until you are willing to take a hard look at yourself and gauge what it is that you need to do in order to be happy with or without a person. Until that time, nobody else can make you happy. Because even if you were to be with somebody, it's not possible that you will be with that person 24/7. In fact, it may be a very good thing if you are with somebody 24/7. Because very soon you will realize what a blunder it's been. You would grow out of that person very quickly. I mean, that's usually why marriages fall apart. You are with each other 24/7. You don't give each other time to miss. You say, did you miss me? Well, you were there all day. I didn't have time to miss you. And so on. So that fulfillment and completeness, if you don't want to seek it from others, then you must seek it from yourself. And by seeking, I don't mean you start looking, searching for it within yourself. By that, I simply mean devote yourself to something. Well aware of the fact that when you devote yourself to a cause or to something greater than you, that there are going to be many aspects of it which you won't like. That there are going to be many aspects which you would rather avoid. Many things that you never thought would comprise, would actually constitute what you're doing. So with that in mind, knowing that path to, call it enlightenment, call it attainment, call it realization, or call it clarity, that always has two aspects to it. One, some things you like. Two, most things you don't like. Most people, some people when they eat a cake, they would take the cream off it. They don't like the cream. Some people like the cream, they only want the cake. They only want the cream. Some say I only like the middle part, some say I only like the top part, and so on. But a cake would not be a cake. It would be bread if it didn't have any cream on it. Think about it. You may as well serve somebody bread. That's what makes a cake a cake. And then the joy of hunting what you want in it and leaving aside what you don't is what makes the joy of eating more. Similarly, when you do anything in life, there are going to be things you just don't like. And that's okay. You don't have to like everything. Nature has not given that luxury to anybody, that they will only get to do things that they like in their life. So if we change our preferences, a lot of things change on their own. Keeping in mind of our mortality, any fraction of those 10,000 hours must be spent judiciously. Question: is there any sign or symptom by which we can understand whether we should or shouldn't invest our few thousand of precious hours in that activity? So how do you know if you are spending those 10,000 hours in the right thing? You won't know. There is no way of knowing it as such. It may be that you start enjoying it more and more and you start liking it more and more. But how would you know? There is nothing that I can think of that to say, well, on my book on page number so and so, read, I've written 5 top bullet points. If it's a tick, it's a wise use of your time, otherwise it isn't. The only thing I can tell you is this: when you are sincere and you give that time to any endeavor, you cannot go wrong. Sooner or later, you will walk away with immense learning, which is going to help you in all the other fields or spheres as well. And by that, I'm not saying, okay, if you are just simply wasting your time. By that, I'm not saying, let's say somebody is doing business and they say 20 hours a day I'm spending, like 16 hours a day I'm working in my shop or something, and then 5 years later they say, well, I gave more than 10,000 hours, now I should be a Bill Gates technically, now next time I step into business. No, it was not deliberate practice. I'm talking about acquisition of a skill, mastering a craft, championing something that you can do on your own, which then will help you in doing many other things. So that 10,000 hour rule applies to that deliberate practice.